down yourself and take the dreams off the shelf. And don't share your gift, yeah, your gift is a seed. You can easily be the change that we need. Keep your mind alert and your heart with peace. Be the change that we want to see. Yeah, don't share your gift, yeah, your gift is a seed. You can easily be the change that we need. Keep your mind alert and fill your heart with peace. Be the change that we want to see. Yeah.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Mentality Unchained. I am your favorite neighborhood therapist, Kevin Thomas. Look, man, this is going to be an awesome episode. I'm so excited. For weeks, I've been trying to get this guy, this young man, into the chair to talk to him about life, about how he came up in the community. Man, he just has a wealth of information, so I'm looking forward to this opportunity. When I was little, we used to have this store. If you from the Rockford area, we had this music store, record store, they call it, on the corner of Central and West State. It's called Ubiquities. And man, when you talking about music, it was so exciting just to go in there and see all the records. I remember buying my first Slick Rick record, my first Run DMC record up in there. So look, let's open it up and give a hand to Mr. Sonny. He don't like to be called Mr., but Mr. Sonny of Ubiquities Records. How you doing, Mr. Sonny?
I'm good. I like that part what you said, young man.
Absolutely.
I can deal with that all the time.
Yes,
yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. Look, you've been in the community for, I don't know. Since I was little. Like, why records? Why a record store?
Well, let me say this, Kevin.
Okay.
It's an honor and a privilege
Oh.
to be sitting here talking to you, man, because like a lot of times people, they just take people in business for granted.
Yeah.
And, I had to learn to accept things like what you're doing for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always was the one that was giving, and it was a problem for me to accept things what people wanted to give back.
Yeah.
You understand? And
Yeah.
I've been so efficient for what I do, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
So, and it's really a blessing to still be here, to watch you guys grow and do stuff and honor me.
I love it.
So, man, I'm just humble for it.
Man, I thank you for doing this, man. I remember walking. So we are actually in Mr. Sonny's. It's called Sonny's Place.
Sonny's Place,
the
yeah.
restaurant. And
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, your daughter, right,
yeah,
runs
right.
this place. And
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is awesome. It's an awesome place. So you guys definitely come down there. I'm gonna give shout out to Sonny's Place already.
Right.
If you're in the Rockford area, come down to Sonny's Place.
It was funny. I have a younger brother and an older sister. When my mom saw that the listening, she brought us what we call a hi-fi system. And so me and my sister, she's a little older than I am, we started collecting music together.
Okay.
I mean the 45s and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So we started doing that. So we had formed us a little library of music. I make me a hustle and give me a little money. We go buy it and we do this. So yeah, it was always there. It was always there at the particular time. I didn't know that though.
Yeah,
I didn't know that God was giving me a gift. He gave it to me. And most people don't understand it. They just think that, man, I came here and opened up a record shop and it just went, no, God gave me that gift, man.
Yeah.
He gave me this ear.
Okay.
To where I could hear stuff. Now, I wanted to be a musician, but I didn't have the patience for that.
Okay.
I joined a band when I was in high school. I wanted to play the saxophone, but it just took too much time, and I wanted it right then.
Okay.
So then when I was able to listen to the music, I could have it right then.
Gotcha.
And a lot of my friends that I went to high school that were in band, well, they found out that I had this collection and they wanted to borrow it.
Okay.
But I wouldn't let them do it, man.
Yeah.
I wouldn't let
No,
them do it.
music meant that much to you.
That much. Music was my life, man.
Yeah. That's how I am with books, Mr. Sonny. I don't
Yeah.
loan books out.
No, you don't. I had a friend. We were like brothers. He lived right next door to us, and we started collecting together. And so I lent him a record once, and it come back. I didn't want it. I went and gave that one to him and bought me another one.
Okay.
And I told my young brother, I said, if he ever comes to borrow some again, don't let him have it.
Gotcha.
Because we were like this. But this is something that you have that's personal. That's what I'm
Gotcha.
saying. Yeah.
So that's the music early on. But what happened between your childhood and adulthood? What was life like with Mr. Sonny at that time?
I was one of them dudes, man. And my daddy, see, when my folks came up from the South, I was about 4 years old. But my daddy, he foresaw stuff by us living in the city. And he would always tell me, you know, we had a big backyard, you know, and he would say, boy, don't you ever go out that backyard now, you know. So I was one of them inquisitive dudes. I would climb up on the fence and look over in the alley, man, but I never would go out. It was like I wanted to find something different. I didn't want to be like everybody.
Okay.
You know, so music gave me that. You know, it gave me the opportunity to try something different where everybody else was into the Temptations and the doo-wops and all that. I was searching for something else, and I found it.
Even in Chicago at that time,
At that particular time, yeah. Because you know, growing up, I was big, and I could get in them jazz clubs.
Okay.
Every artist that came to Chicago when I was a young man, I saw.
Really?
I saw.
Wow.
I saw.
I know you met a lot of superstars as
I'm
well.
gonna tell you one that really blew my mind, and I tell this story all the time. I went to it was a club called the Plug Nickel.
Plug Nickel.
Plug Nickel.
In Chicago?
In Chicago.
Okay.
It was up north.
Okay.
And the Plug Nickel had just opened up, and they was having all the big stars. Miles Davis, Roland Kirk, John Coltrane was my favorite artist.
Really?
So I went, and I sat down and see John Coltrane. He would be playing all the time. I mean, even breaks, on his breaks. So what he would do sometimes, he would come out and sit in the audience. He came out and he sat at a table like that for me. So I'm like a little kid in the candy store. I wanted to say something, but my mouth I couldn't talk. I couldn't talk. So he looked at me. You know what he told me? He said, "Nice beard you got there, young man." Oh man, you couldn't have told me nothing.
That's right.
Man. Oh man, I'm going home combing and I'm going home doing all that. And I told my sister, sis, guess what? I was sitting next to the train and he told me I had a nice beard. Well, I'm about 20 then.
Yeah.
You know, it was cold black. You understand? So it was that, man. It
Wow.
was that. It was just being at the right place at the right time.
Why did you leave Chicago?
Got married.
Okay. Got
married. I'll tell everybody, when you find the right one.
Okay.
And, by me being young and doing different things and stuff like that. And I knew that's what it was. And I had to get away from that because, we all got background on stuff. So in order for me to be right, I had to do right.
Right.
And so I proposed to her and we got married. And she told me, I said, look, I'm going to move. Not knowing that I was going to move to Rockford now.
Okay.
But my dad was here.
Oh, your dad moved here.
My dad was here in Rockford. So I told her, I said, well, I'm going to move. Mm-hmm. And the first thing she told me, she said, I'll go with you. You sure you're going to take care of me? I said, oh, yeah. Case closed.
You got to take care
closed, yeah.
You got to take care of her, right?
Yeah. And she was my backbone, man.
Yeah.
She was really my back. She taught me so much, man.
Wow.
So
you don't hear most men talk about how their wives
man.
taught them anything.
Look, if people hear me, they know who Miss Crudup was.
Okay.
They gave Miss Crudup big respect because she deserved it and she earned it and they loved her, man. Mm-hmm. And everything. She just thought I could do anything.
She believed in you.
Yeah, she sure did, man. She
Wow.
sure did. I mean, from anything that I wanted to do. And you don't find many women like that.
No
and then
way.
I would sit down and I would ask her about things. I would feed off her, man. Mm-hmm. She just taught me so much, man. I mean, she really did.
When it came to the music, she
man,
had
when
your
she
back?
when she came to, from growing up, she worked downtown Chicago, so she worked in all the big stores as a young teenage girl because her mom worked down there.
Yeah.
She was she was a worker, and she did security for them too.
Yeah.
And so she worked in all the stores. So she taught me how to. When a person come in the store, she told me what to do and how to do it. I'd be right on them.
Yeah,
She said, oh, wait a minute. She always called me Crudup. She said, wait a minute, Crudup. She said, you jumping on them as soon as let them come in the store and look around and do some stuff,
Yeah.
So it was just so much, man. I didn't know.
Yeah.
My thing was, as I learned as I went.
Okay.
I didn't have no training in that. So I learned as I went. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, besides her, what made you think that you can, be in this music thing?
Well, what happened was I worked at Chrysler for 4 years.
Okay.
And it was a store downtown called the Record Mart. Mm-hmm. It was downtown there on North Main and is that Jefferson?
Okay.
I think it was Jefferson, Marbury, one of them. And I went in there to show you how far back this was. I went in there to get a Isaac Hayes Black Moses was
Yeah.
the name of it, and they didn't have it. But you know, by me growing up in Chicago, I knew if I got in the car, drove over there, I get it, you know. And so I waited, I ordered, and I waited. And I'm just saying, well, why do we have to take that long? But still, the record part wasn't in my mind. Then.
Yeah.
I'm still working on this job. I'm trying to, you know, work with me and Miss Crudup so we could do something, you know.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuck with me a little bit, and I just still kept working, not knowing that I was going to do that.
Did you think that the record store would put you in the light of the community the way it did?
No.
Because everybody knew about you,
Yeah,
man.
right. Well,
Everybody knew about
here's
Ubiquitous.
the thing, what it was. My dad was self-employed. I watched him that was my mom and my dad was my role models. Most people you don't hear say that. Man, I loved my mom and I loved my dad. But fortunately enough, they split up.
Okay.
But that didn't take the love away from me for my father. And my mother was one of them ladies that never said anything bad about my father. You know how nowadays you might hear some say this and some. Mom never did say that. And we would me and my sister would go visit my dad here in Rockford. And he was sort of like, when I moved to Rockford, I almost knew everybody because I would come visit him.
Yeah.
You know, I was visiting him in high school.
Right.
But you know, it was a great thing for what he came there. He laid the foundation for us here. You know, he always said if you do good work, people will find you.
Yeah.
They will
I
find
believe
you.
that too.
Yeah. And here's one. One day, I'm in high school. Mom never took the key from Dad. I'm in high school. I'm as we've said in the city, I'm ditching school. So wait a minute. Hear the door open and slam downstairs. I said, who in the house?
Yeah.
So it was my father. He had come here with a friend of his, and you know, he would buy. He was a mechanic, so he was buying auto parts. And see, he had a business there in Chicago, so he was coming here to get something.
Yeah.
And so he boy, what you doing out of school? I said, well, wasn't no school today. So that's how I met a friend of his named Richard.
Gotcha.
Richard Meeks.
Okay.
And Richard and my dad was good friends. So when I worked at Christ, I was sitting up talking to my dad one day. I said, Pops. I said, what, boy? I said, man, I'm tired of that job. He said, well, what you gonna do? I said, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I said, but I'm gonna do something. I said, I'm just tired. He said, well, you know, look at your dad. Your dad been employed for himself for over 40 years.
Yeah.
You know, that's back in the early 70s.
Right.
I said, oh, okay then. He said, well, you know what you do is, he said, you think on what you're gonna do. I said, but I don't know what I want to do.
Right.
You know, at that one little particular time, I said, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna open up a little ice cream stand. So he said, well, somebody across over there, right on Pierpont and Preston had a little store there. Well, anyway, and they were getting ready to go out of it. I said, nah. So he was talking to Richard one day. He said, Richard, Sonny said he finna quit his job, man, and he finna go into something. So here's my thing on that. You know how somebody can believe in you before you believe in yourself?
Yeah.
And Richard told me, he said, man, if you decide to do something, he said, let me know. So I quit my job May 31st, 1972. July the 14th, I was opening my first store. And I'm like what you just said. I read.
Yeah.
I read, man.
Right.
I got myself so excited about that. You know, to you know, when you get that feeling and stuff like that, you can conquer anything you want.
Yeah.
I couldn't stay there.
Wow.
I couldn't stay at. It wouldn't. Every day, I mean, I'm pounding on that. I couldn't stay at Chrysler, man. And I would tell the dude, you know when you got confidence in your step when you start telling your friends, man, I'm finna quit.
Right.
Oh man, you ain't gonna quit no good job like this, man. When you gonna make more money? So I'm quitting, man.
Yeah.
I'm quitting. And when I did do that, all my friends, see, I'm gonna have to let it out.
Go ahead, let it out.
All my friends, I could tell when they come in the store, hey, James, what's up?
They call you by your government name.
By the name that they knew in Christ. Nobody know no Sonny, man. Come on, man. So, yeah. But, so we went in there, man, and you was talking about the names. My first store was called Essence Records and Wigs.
Okay.
And I named it after the magazine. The magazine had just went in
Essence
opened up
yeah.
in 72.
And so you named it Essence.
I named it Essence. You know, you know how you was trying to find
names.
James, and I said, okay, Essence. Okay, we tried that. So that's what I'm saying. I copied.
Gotcha,
you know?
gotcha.
And Essence stayed in existence with. I had a partner. That don't work out sometimes, but he was a good brother.
Gotcha.
Real good brother. It was just time for us to part, and I ain't saying nothing negative on that. And the Ubiquity came. It was a group called Roy Ayers featuring Ubiquity, and then it became Ubiquity.
Wow.
And so what happened was Ubiquity came in a separate store, but it was all combined with Essence. But we went a different route. At least I did. It was pretty smart on my idea because we did that, and it was Ubiquity means everywhere at the same time.
Wow.
So our little slogan was everywhere at once.
Okay.
So, and that's how the Ubiquity came in, and man, that's what stuck.
It did.
That's what really stuck.
Everybody
man.
knew about that, man.
And it, I hate to say that, wasn't nothing personal with the Essence records. They stayed for about maybe 3 or 4 more years, and my partner died, and that's kind of killed that man, But he was a very good brother, man. I don't have anything bad to say about him. It was good. It was just time to move on.
Right.
Yeah,
I think that's really like respectful because a lot of people in groups they say bad things once the group is over.
No, couldn't have said it. This is where I go back to tell you that the dude believed in me. He said, Sonny, let me tell you what happened. Me and the wife was at home one day, and there was a guy that used to come on radio on Sundays. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm in the music business now already. I had the little store, and I was just saying to myself, I could do that. And so he went off. So he went off. So I told Richard, I said, Richard, man, let's see if we can go down there and I can get a radio program. What did he always call me? He would always call me bruh.
Yeah.
He said, bro, you know you can do it. So here's the thing. I had to make my list out. I had a engineer just like you. He would play the music, and I would tell him what song to play. And and I'm sitting back there, but it was good. It was on WRR radio. I did that for about maybe 6 years.
So in addition to your music, you also did TV too. You said.
Yeah, I did TV. I had a little thing. Well, actually, we had before when the TV first started. Here's what it was with me. People would send people and say, man, if you want to find out something, if you want to know something, go down there to Ubiquity and talk to Mr. Crudup. And it was on WPTI radio and TV. And so they come in and they'd ask me. And I wasn't afraid to do it.
Yeah.
And we had a program where it was called Minority Reports. And what we was doing, we was just going through the community, finding out different things, and then we would report on it, and different things like that. But that wasn't what I wanted to do. No. Once I got my foot in the door, I'm gonna see if they're gonna bounce on this. So I told him, I asked him one day, I said, hey, he said, how do you feel with the program, Sonny? I said, are you uncomfortable? I said, no, I'm not uncomfortable. I mean, y'all open the door for me and I'm in here.
Right.
He said, well, what would you like to do? I said, what would I like to do? He said, yeah, what would you like to do? I said, well, I got the music store, and everything. I said, I'd like to do me something like Soul Train.
All right, Soul Train.
Yeah, he
That's
said,
big.
wait a minute. He said, well, what would you call it? I said, we call it Let's Dance.
Okay.
And that was at the time Michael Jackson was hot.
Yeah.
Thriller and Beat It and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, man, we went in there, and we had to do a pilot of it. And so we did the pilot, and they showed it 1 week. And man, it took off.
Wow.
It took off. But see, I couldn't get back then. If it was on public TV, so you couldn't get no sponsors. You had to get underwriters.
Right.
So most of it I underwritten myself.
Wow. So you were learning all this stuff on the fly.
On the fly. This is what I was just trying to say. I was never afraid to try it. If I tried it and lost, that means that was success. You understand what I'm saying?
True. That's true.
And so I never was. We did that for 2 years. And see, what happened was they shut the TV station down, and he moved out to, I think, to California. So that's where 39 was back in the day. Back there, yeah.
Right.
So man, I wasn't. I had somebody to say, man, how do you do that and you ain't got no college education? I said, it ain't about college education, man.
Right.
It's about what you got up here.
Yeah.
It's about what you can
Yeah.
believe in. If you can believe in yourself, you can do anything, man.
Right, that's
you
true.
know, and so that's what it was, man. I wasn't afraid to try nothing, you know.
But
So,
why?
yeah.
Why would you so positive? I mean, because you know, you run into some stores, they got an attitude, or they walk around, watch you and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember going in and you just treating us just like kids. You know,
That's you know what my theory was? I wanted to treat y'all like I wanted to be treated. I wanted to be family, man.
Got you.
You know, and that's kind of what we did, man. That's what the things that we focus on.
Yeah.
You know, if I got kids and stuff like that, I want to treat the kids like I would treat my kids.
Right.
And that's how our family came about, man. Yeah.
That's a blessing, man.
Man, it really is.
I appreciate it because I tell you what, that was the positive stuff that we had going on, even when we had violence and stuff in the city. But that was a positive place to go.
Here's one that your wife told me. We sitting up there talking. She said, now you know, we got a name for me. They call me Uncle Sonny. Did she tell you?
Uncle Sonny,
She
yeah.
said, Uncle Sonny, you was a therapist. You know, your wife was therapist back then.
And didn't even know it. Yes, y'all
Yeah,
were.
yeah,
I mean, because that was our outlet. That was our place to go, to hang out. I mean, we sitting up there and sitting on the stoop, or we sitting in the project debating on what music was this, and then we go into the record store and we be like, oh, I like that, I like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was a safe haven for us.
Safe haven, man.
And so I appreciate it.
Man, I just appreciate y'all just don't know, man. When I see some of y'all, and most of the time, you know, well, I'm getting older now, and the problem is that I know faces.
Yeah.
But if I talk to you long enough, I'm gonna know your name.
Right.
You know? So that's the way I lean in. You know. So,
No,
but man, y'all just you know, everybody think Ubiquity was just the store. To me, Ubiquity, man, was my life.
Yeah.
And y'all was the one that nourished it for me, man. I'm telling you. I could talk. I could be who I wanted to be. You know, people say, man, you still the same. That's the way I want y'all to remember me.
Gotcha.
I don't want to be nobody because I got something.
So let's talk about that then. Who is Mr. Sonny? I mean, you put that out, and we see who Mr. Sonny. But like, who would you want people to see you as, Mr. Sonny?
I want them to see that I'm a brother that's a real dude.
Yeah.
I want you to understand that I don't have nothing but love for you. You know, I want you to know that anything that I could do for somebody, I would. You know, I was telling me, my wife was talking about. She told me she said, if all the people paid you that owe you, you could get you a new car. You know, but it wasn't about that. It wasn't about that. It was about, man, me pleasing people. I want people to just remember me and say, well, that was a real dude, man. That was a real man. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say boy. I want to say man.
I understand
you know?
that.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
So you know, I'm a mental health therapist.
Okay.
And I want to talk to you about the balance
Okay.
between your family, the community, the store, the business, all that. Like, how did that keep your mental health during that time?
Well, you know, I went through things.
Okay.
I went through depressed things when business wasn't great, and I'm trying to figure. See, I learned my business. Nobody taught it to me. I learned it. You know, and I was doing stuff, man, that I didn't know what I was doing, but I had to learn it. And then at first, I didn't have nobody to teach me.
Okay.
Because I would go in and buy music. I had a big old box, man, that I had that all the defects. So if you bought a CD, well, back then it was 45s, 8 tracks, and albums. So if you bought one, man, if it was defect, you know, I had a return authorization on it, but I was just throwing them in the box. I didn't know what to do. Anybody told me nothing about that.
Wow.
And so one day I had this big old box. So one of the young mans that worked for his father, it's called Barney's One Stop in Chicago. He asked me one day, he said, Sonny, he said, you don't bring no defects back? I said, man, I got a box full of them. I'm getting ready to throw them away. He said, oh, no. He said, bring that back. You get credit for that.
Oh, man.
So then I learned that's how you balance your inventory.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Wow.
And so I'm going to tell you.
How long did you do that?
About 6 or 7 months. I had a great big old box. Grand big old box, man. It was quite a bit when I took them back in, you know. So yeah. But we had to learn that.
Yeah.
We had to, we had to learn all those different things that was there available for us. You know, we even had advertising rights.
Yeah.
But I was so far from. See, most of the big places was in Chicago, so I was so far back. Tell you, here's a true story. Dude called me said to one of the promoters, Sonny. So man, we finna pick Janet Jackson up at O'Hara. He said we was thinking about running her up to Ubiquity, man, and but she didn't. She wanted to go right into Chicago. So, oh my God, I said that would have made me. You know,
right.
if Janet was coming,
Yeah.
I'd get on the phone and put something out there. That would have made me. You know, he said, but she's gonna go into Chicago and then she's gonna hit all the record stores and then all the radio stations.
Yeah.
Well, see, a lot of times stuff wouldn't come to me. Because we didn't have no radio station.
That's true. We didn't.
We didn't have nothing for the TV.
No.
You know? So some of them would just come up there, and some would come, and they would just say, "We need to take you here. We want to take you where something has really happened." See, Rockford, man, was a testing ground for me, because we had trained our people to listen to everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
And dudes would come in, and they would say, "Man, you playing that? You selling that?" I said, "You ain't tried it?" He said, "No." I said, "Man, sometimes you got to open the music up and let it hear it."
Yeah.
"Oh, man, I'm losing money." I said, "No, you ain't. You gaining, man. You gaining all that." And that's how we did it, man.
Gotcha.
And
So that depression kind of kicked in when things got slow.
when things got slow.
Yeah.
When things got slow, I had to sit down and think about different things, man. And then, sometimes people with depression.
Yeah.
Come in. I had one dude, man, when we first opened up, and this might have been our 5th day, and he came in there, and I'm thinking I'm doing stuff. This was at Essence, though, and we'd had this big wall, and I had the music in there, and I'm got my chest swelled out. He come in there, and he looked at me. He said, "This all you got?" I'm biting on my tongue and everything. You know what I said to myself?
Yeah.
Kevin, you know what I said? Next time you come in here, you ain't gonna say that no more. So that inspired me,
Gotcha.
man. That inspired
So
me.
it didn't put you to the point where you stopped and want to quit.
Oh,
it
no.
made you it motivated
Man,
you.
Look. By Christmas time, we was the baddest thing in Rockford in '72.
Wow.
Never had it. Never had it, man. We went in there and we the paint was good. We had the big long ceilings like this, and I had my turntables hanging all the way out up to the counter here. They ain't never saw nothing like that.
No.
I just come from here.
Yeah.
And so that was my tradition.
Yeah.
When we went to either store, man. See, I had a store on 1701 West State. That was the first Ubiquity. Then our other Ubiquity was 601 Kent Street, right across from Booker Washington Center. It was a little house, little building right there. So it was good, but like I'll go back to Miss Crudup. Girl, she if it didn't work, if it was slow, she go get her job.
Wow.
Crudup, you can do this. I'll go find something else.
She go get a job.
She go get a job.
Dang.
Man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But you was staying in the store,
staying
right?
In the store.
Yeah.
In the store. And and I always tried to keep my stuff together. DJing was a natural.
Right.
So I DJed for about 30 years around here. Went everywhere, man.
Gotcha.
And it was just amazing.
What's the difference today than it was in back in your day when it came to music?
See what we was doing back in the day. We was creating.
Okay.
We brought that dude. We was listening to something one day, and the young boy told me, said, "Pops, you don't know nothing about that." I said, "Let me tell you something, son. I'm the one that brought that funk to town."
Right.
He said, "What?" He said, so I went to peeling it off to him, He said, "Okay." But the difference it is now, we had artists back then that really wrote the music.
Yeah.
Now everybody samples off stuff.
They do.
I ain't knocking on the young kids because a lot of that stuff is creative. Look, man, they took that hip hop. Hip hop is worldwide now.
Is.
Everybody, each language is doing it. Well, when I was growing up, the jazz was big in certain times, but as it grew, other music started coming. James Brown and all them, Ray Charles and all them started doing stuff. So a lot of the jazz musicians had to go overseas to make money. They were appreciating it more than we was. Our thing was R&B and blues and different things like that. But everybody, when I first went in business, what they told me? Well, some of the people, not everybody. So, "Oh man, you ain't gonna be around long."
Yeah.
So what you mean I ain't gonna be around long, man? You don't know what's up in here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, you know, this is blues town. I said, I know about the blues.
Yeah.
But you know, we mixed up everything.
Right.
We did everything.
Right.
Wasn't no say this town is this town is that. No, it was everything. It was what I believed in, and I sold it.
Wow.
But the music was basically, this was like a blues town.
Did you ever have to compromise what you believed in for the music? You know, like a lot of people get other people to come and try to buy them out, or try to say stop selling this or stop selling that.
Well, here's what when the hip hop came in and they had the parent advisory on that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't sell it to a kid unless he was 16 years old. I figured 16 years old was enough, and I wouldn't. So when the parents came in, and if he was 12 or 13, I would tell them. You know, this is parent advisory. I want you to let you know your son or daughter is buying this. So if you say it's okay for him to have them, I would sell it to you.
Okay.
I said, but he cannot come down here unless you get permission or you stop in and tell me that it's all right to sell it to him. I will. But that was my cutoff point.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that was my cutoff point because I felt that 16 years old probably could have went up to 18,
right?
But that probably would have lowered everything. You know,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to sell as much as I did. You know.
Yeah. So 45s versus iTunes, the new social media. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, it just changed the game.
Okay.
That changed the game.
Right.
You know, I lost. I didn't lose, but you know, I didn't foresee videos.
Okay.
You know, and when I was going in, my suppliers, they sold everything. And so one day the dudes they used to call me Ubiquity. Hey, Ubiquity, you ain't selling DVD? I mean, you ain't selling videos? I said, nah. He said, man, it's a big market. So I caught it on the end, and I was renting them.
Gotcha.
But they thought when they rented from Ubiquity, it was theirs. They wouldn't bring them back.
They wouldn't bring them back.
So it was cool, and I stopped that. But there's another one. I said I wasn't going to miss out on when them CDs come out.
Yeah.
I was way ahead of the game
Oh, yeah.
on that, man. I was way ahead of the game on that. But, you know, you have to follow that. Now I see if I probably would have stayed around, it was a lot of little different things that I could have did, you know, like the Sticks now. But that was way, see we closed in 09.
Gotcha.
And see, so all that came to fruition now. You understand?
Right.
You probably could have made some because I had other different things that I sold in the store.
Yeah.
And you know, here's the thing: they were still selling albums.
Yeah.
We just couldn't return them.
Right.
Yeah. So that's a loss. If you buy it, you had to eat it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we talked about quite a bit. Let's talk about faith and retirement.
Okay.
How did you establish your faith? Why did you establish your faith? And then retirement. Why did you feel it was time to retire?
Well, see, most people, they see Sonny and they see Sonny up in the record shop. You know, man, I had a lot of ministers that used to come in there and talk to me, and they would ask me, what church you go to? Why you ain't doing this? Why don't you come see me? You know, and here's my thing, man. My faith is me, in me. I believe what I believe. You know, I don't try to put my stuff off on you to tell you should be this. Look, I read the Bible.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the books, like you said, a lot of the books that you read, especially the positive thinking books, are from the Bible.
Gotcha.
So you go in there and they tell you this, you go to the Bible. So, okay then. So, you know, I came up Catholic.
Okay.
So I used to read the catechism every day. You know, the reason that I have my beard now, it started in first grade.
Really?
You know why?
Why?
I'm a Catholic boy. We had to go do the 12 stations. Are you familiar with the stations?
I'm not.
Well, the stations are when Jesus was carrying the cross.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so when we go there, you would see him, and he had the big pretty beard. Man, I couldn't wait.
You couldn't wait to
I
get a
couldn't
beard.
wait. I couldn't wait, man.
So now you rock it all.
Look, man, been rocking it since I was 20. Here's the truth. None of my daughters ever seen me clean shaved.
Really?
None of them. Wow. My wife used to tell me, "See, you ought to have your daddy shave that stuff off." I told him I look like a little punk. Look, I'm looking at you. You know what I'm talking about, man. Come on. So, what was that? Some of the people that would come in, I don't know how you be with him with all that hair on your face.
Yeah. Oh man, women love the beard now.
Come on, man, and white too.
Oh yeah, white beard.
Gray, we say. But I kept my faith to myself, me and
Yeah.
the wife. I pray among myself.
Yeah.
I don't try to push it off on nobody. If I have something positive to say to you, I'll tell you.
Gotcha.
I'll mix it up in my own little way. I was telling the girls, my favorite person in the Bible is Joseph.
Okay.
Joseph was strong, man.
Was.
Joseph went through a whole
A
lot of
whole
stuff,
lot.
man. Joseph went through that thing what was that thing that Napoleon Hill had in his book? What was it? Sex transmutation or something like that. You know what I'm talking about? Joseph was strong. He didn't let that bother him, man.
Yeah.
He didn't do nobody wrong.
Right.
He always was doing so. But I just loved it. Man, there's other people that I love, but I always go back and when I feel that I need a little strength,
Yeah.
go back and read Joseph.
That's good.
I really love Joseph, man.
That's good.
Yeah.
No, that's really
And then
really-
Moses was another one. And I would pick out different stuff and read
Mm-hmm.
it, man. So I've always been spiritual. My mom, although we went to Catholic school, I went to 7th grade, and my sister went from 1st grade all the way up to finish it. We also. She was Baptist, so we did a whole Sunday in church. We would go to mass, and then we had to meet her down the street at the Baptist church.
Wow.
So so we know about
Okay.
that, man. So religion has always been in my life. I just
Gotcha.
may not show it the way some people want to see it. I wasn't no show off for that. That was personal with me.
Yeah, that's good. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So why did you retire? I mean,
Well,
what was it?
they retired me. that State Street Project retired me. That's what it was. And I wasn't ready to quit.
Okay.
But you can kind of start to sin when it started to come. But see, when I did do that, I started focusing on music. Still had to be in my life. Right now, music paid 24 hours in my house.
Really?
I don't never.
You
cut
still
it
got
out.
them 45s?
No.
Okay.
I done made.
You don't switched over in transition, right?
I got iPod.
Okay.
I got a stick. I got a stick.
Yeah?
Might have 700
Okay.
songs on
Okay,
it, and I just let
okay.
it play. But I still got my collection now. I
Gotcha.
still got my turntables. But I kind of saw it was coming. And it really, I was doing a few things, and then when Miss Crudup passed, man, I just kind of had to go regroup.
Yeah.
She convinced me. She said, I did this lady's, I did my granddaughter's other grandfather's birthday party. He turned 70. So I wasn't going. I said, I'm through it. So I'm going to do it for him. Going to do it.
Yeah.
So I wanted him to beg me.
You wanted to bet.
I wanted him to beg me. When I do it, I was going to do it anyway. I just wanted him to keep saying, "Oh, Sonny, come on,
Come
come
on."
on." So yeah, I did it, man. It was so much fun,
Wow.
Yeah. But then you kind of start seeing the handwriting on the wall. But right now, man, we did a thing of Grown Folks Friday. I could have did it, but I was just hosting stuff.
Yeah.
I like the camaraderie of just
Hosting.
meeting people
Yeah,
and talking
yeah.
to them and how you
Yeah.
been, Mr. Crudup? Mr.
Yeah.
Crudup, you look young. You blah blah.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Okay, so that kept me young.
Yeah.
Y'all kept me young.
Gotcha.
Look, man, I walk every morning, and the guys that I walk with is in their 50s
Uh-huh.
and 60s,
Wow.
and I'm keeping up with them. I said, okay then. So y'all don't realize how y'all inspire me.
Yeah.
Y'all raised me.
Man, look.
Come on,
look,
man. Y'all
look.
raised me. Look, man, I'm hanging out with guys coming in the store 18, 19,
Uh-huh.
20 and on
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
So it was a blessing both ways. I mean what y'all taught me.
Man,
I kept. Man.
It's an honor for me to sit here.
Man, I kept that, man. I would listen to what people would tell me, and use some of that, just like Brian.
Yeah, yeah.
Been knowing Brian since he was 18. Coming in the store, Brian Music,
Yeah.
And Brian would tell me, man, you taught me so much, man. I said, man, I taught you. He said, no, you showed me how to DJ, man. I ain't showed you how to DJ. I said, no. He said, now go on the set with you and I watch what you do. Like I was just telling when I went and did wedding receptions, I don't go in there and pound the people right away. I play a little smooth jazz, let them eat and let them do this. And once everything got out, the ceremonies got out of the way, I would go ahead and give it to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, it was good, man.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to get too personal, but I do want to ask you this because, you don't have to answer if you don't want to,
Go
but
ahead.
I just want to know, like, your wife has been so instrumental to your life and a part of your life. How was that when you lost her, if you don't
rough.
mind?
Well, I'm gonna tell you this, man. I get feedback from her so much now that's so positive.
Okay.
So when she passed, man, it was rough, man. We was passing. I was sitting at home one day on the couch, and man, I must have gained about 25 or 30 pounds.
Oh.
So my wife was exercise fanatic.
Okay.
Looked like she came to me and said, "Get your fat so-and-so off this." That's when I started walking around the park.
Really?
So, man, I walked around that park, man, I got down to like 235 pounds. I look at some of them pictures now, I said, was that me? You know, and that was motivation, and I'll pull her up here.
Yeah.
And think about some of the things that she'll tell me to do. You know, Crudup, that don't feel right.
Yeah.
Or you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
You know, and here's the thing that I say, you know, if I'm dating, and somebody asks me, what was Miss Crudup like? You said the wrong thing, because I'm finna give it to you. I'm finna tell you.
You ain't holding back.
I ain't holding back, you know, and I ain't trying to get you to compete with that.
Yeah.
We had little things, man, that I used to play games with her and do different things with her, you know, on the Valentine's Day, on her birthday, on all them other things. I used to play little games. She would always say, "I know my husband gonna get me this. I know my husband." But you know, those were things that I cherish, man, that I don't have now.
Gotcha.
You know, the kids, the kids would always want something, and I started giving them $1 each year for the birthday.
Okay.
So well, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, it was all right, but when they got to be 15 and
right,
16, oh, okay, Dad, and here's another one. I stopped at 25.
They grown.
They grown now.
Yeah,
You got a dude out there to give you something.
Yeah.
But it was, man, we tried to have fun in our house, man.
Gotcha.
You know, and that was just such a pleasure for it, because she fit right in it, with it. And, you know, I always lost because it was yeah. We'd pick a restaurant to go. I don't want to go there.
Yeah.
I don't want to go there. So let's vote on it.
Right. Oh, you was outnumbered.
I was outnumbered,
yeah.
man. But, man, it was...
I know the last time we talked, you were talking and teasing about your daughters don't want you dating.
Yeah. They don't want me dating.
They rather for you to just kind of be a bachelor.
Yeah. But, you know, they done got past it now, because next year it'll be 10 years.
Okay.
And that done went by fast. But I understand. You know, it's like this. Nobody ever saw me with no other woman but their mother, especially kids. You know what I'm saying? You know, yeah.
What's next for this place, Sonny's place? It's already blossoming. What's next?
Well, you know, I'm kind of like in the background on this. You know, me and my brother, we're in the background. We're part of this, but I'm kind of in the background. I'm kind of letting her feel. See this?
No, you're fine.
This was her vision.
This is your daughter's vision.
And I don't want to take that away from her, man.
Yeah.
You know, she got to go through the ups and downs. She got to do this. She got to do that. But I'm always here. I'm always here to call up, and she'll ask me for advice, or she'll do this, or she'll ask my brother and us for advice, you know. But, you know, this was her vision. This was what she wanted. And when she decided to call it Sonny's Place, I was saying, you sure? She said, yeah, Dad. She said, everybody in town know you.
So
everybody. Okay. I said, all right, then. You know, I said, well, you know, I ain't going to step in there. Y'all do it like y'all want to do it, you know. So I didn't get anyway, man. I didn't get anyway.
That's good. I got a couple more questions for you before we get out of here. What would you like for your legacy to read when all said and done, and it's time for Mr. Sonny to say, you know, it's time for me to check out? What would your legacy? Would you want your legacy to be?
He was always willing to help somebody.
Always willing to help
somebody.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's the way that I look at my life, man. If I can't help you, you know, my thing was that I've read in this book. I had a customer of mine. Couldn't stand it. I'm gonna be honest with you. Would come in all the time boasting and blah blah this and that and other, and I was just saying, I'd see him get out of his car coming, I said, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? Here this joker come. Read in this book, it said, find the good in somebody. Just find, even if it's just what good I found in him. He come in there one day and I said, hey man, I like them shoes. Lit up like a Christmas tree.
Wow.
So, oh man. So then he would come in and, you know, just for me to look down at his feet. And we became great friends.
Really?
It was basically me.
Okay.
because of the way that he would come in and want to flaunt and blah this and that and other. But it was me. It wasn't him. It was me. So I realized that. And so that changed my attitude about all my customers. Let me find something I like about them. And man, it just worked out so good. You know,
Absolutely.
I mean, my wife told me one day, she was in there and she told me, she said, you know you was flirting with that woman, don't you?
She told you that?
She told me that. You know, but she was straight up, man.
Yeah.
She said, you know you was flirting with that woman, don't you? I said, yeah, I do. She said, but did you get the money? I said, I got it all.
Get the money,
she
right?
Said, I'm all right
All
then.
right.
Because, like, my thing was, I told her when she hit that dough, it's all over then. Yeah. So, but yeah, did you get the money? That woman was so, you know, you don't find them like that.
No,
man.
you don't find them like that.
She said,
I
did
tell
you
you.
get the money?
Yeah.
And only thing she ever called me was Crudup.
That's it.
She never called me, and I called her Red.
Red. Okay.
Yeah, she said Crudup. Yeah, but it was amazing, man. You know what? I look back on it now. I've had a great life. You know, even coming up, we thought that it was bad, but it wasn't, man.
Yeah.
You know, little things that happen naturally. But man, especially in Rockford. Man.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, like now, man, when I moved to Rockford, I didn't think I was gonna live here.
Really?
You know, because it was so different.
Yeah,
now.
it's definitely different.
Now, well, people tell me I was part of the success of it opening up a little bit.
It was.
Yeah,
You were. Yeah.
So I just got to say, okay, if y'all want to give me that hat, I wear it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say, I always wanted to help somebody.
That's
That's
awesome.
that's
So we talked about a lot, man. Is there anything that you want to talk about that we didn't hit on that I didn't ask you, that I didn't
Well,
bring
you know,
up?
we kind of covered the music biz,
Yeah.
the music part. It was just that, like, sometimes, you know, I got a vast jazz collection. I mean, I got everything.
Okay.
And you mentioned it earlier. I just like everybody said, well, you should have this or you should have this in your collection. And it probably is so, but it's legendary.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing when I was collecting, man, if I heard something and I liked it, I bought it. It didn't have to be so-and-so, so-and-so. Mm-hmm. And that's what I wanted to relay to people. If something that you like and you don't like it, that don't mean nothing.
Okay.
You buy it because you like it. Spend your money the way you want to spend it, man.
Right.
You know, that's what my thing was when people would come in the store, I had to make them believe in me.
Okay.
So when they come in and they say, well, Sonny, what you got new?
Yeah.
I tell him that, okay, get that to me. So, but that didn't just come overnight. I had to make a believer out of them.
Yeah.
And they were my best yes man. Hey man, if Sonny tell you it's all right, it's good.
Yeah.
Or Miss Crudup tell you it's all right, it's good.
Yeah.
So once we got the belief in them, it was easy.
I think that's what I miss the most out of the record shops is that you can't go in now and buy a record like you used to.
No.
I mean, they still got places in New York and different
Right,
places,
right.
but where you can just go and just now everything's online.
Online, right?
and-
No socialism.
No social. There you go.
No sociable night, man.
Man,
yeah.
You can go into record shops and you can see a whole bunch of different people,
Right.
And they're buying records.
Yeah. Man, what you buying?
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
That's what you buying.
Yeah.
Man, I ain't got that.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, customers would sell other customers' records.
I know.
Yeah, that was man. Well, you know, that was amazing, man.
It was.
That was amazing. I ain't gonna lie, man.
Well, I will say, man, my hat's off to you. All respect to you.
Yeah.
Because you really put Rockford on the map when it came to music.
You know what people in Chicago say?
What?
Said Ubiquity is like George's music room in Chicago. I told him, let me tell y'all a story on that. I was in business before George. George used to work for one of my suppliers, and he asked me this. He called me Ubiquity. He said, Ubiquity, you selling that much music up there in Rockford? I said, yes, I am.
Wow.
You know, so I've just so many people that I've met, man.
Yeah.
I was in one of the stores one day, and Howlin' Wolf come in.
Okay.
Now Howlin' Wolf was selling. This is in the '70s. He died in the '70s. He was pushing his new 45. So he would come in there and maybe bring 25 of them, and they would try it. If they sold it, he'd bring a box in there.
Yeah.
So I was in there, and he looked at me. Howlin' Wolf, a big dude. He wasn't quite as tall as I was, but wide. So he said, "You selling all that?" He said, "Where you from?" I said, I'm from Rockford. He says, them old Hawk boys still up there. He talking about the Hawks for the Eldorado. I said, yeah. He said, man, when you get up there, tell old Archie I said hi. I said, I sure will. So, I met people that's been here and played.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, it was a bunch of them, Reverend Milton Bunsen. I met him. He would always call me, Rockford, how you doing? Here, Rockford, take a copy of my LP, see if we can do anything with it. So, that was so sociable with me that I met a lot of people, man. Met a lot of people. Jimmy Wright was a special young man. Jimmy Wright would come in there in my store, and we'd sit in there and talk for hours. And when Jimmy left and he went with Sounds of Blackness, those two pictures up front there.
Yeah.
So when I went to see him, me and my brother went to see Ann Nesbitt. She was doing a CD release party. So the limo had pulled up, and they got a rope right here. So me and Steve was standing right out front. So Ann and her entourage get out. She looked at me and she said, Sonny Crudup, what you doing standing there? I'll pull that thing back and let him come in with us.
Okay.
So we went in with him, man.
Yeah.
And so when after the concert and everything, they had a VIP room upstairs. And so who was it? The supplier told me, so man, we're going up to the VIP room and take pictures. So when I went in there, Jam and Lewis came up and told me, he said, we know the story on you. I'm saying, no, what you mean? She said, Big Jim done told us.
Wow.
He said, we got to take pictures, man. Let's get out of here, man. He said, So that's how I got the picture with them up there. He said, we want to take pictures with you, man.
Wow.
Yeah, you ain't got nothing to say. Come on over here and take pictures.
Yeah.
So he said, Jimmy had told him the whole story about, how we discuss and talk. Jimmy's favorite group was the Isley Brothers. And how we talk and do different things. But, I say little things like that because we're talking now.
Yeah.
You probably would have never known that if we wouldn't be talking
No,
now. Because
I wouldn't have.
That was kind of personal with me.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying? But it's and I can kind of let that out now.
I appreciate that.
I don't profess to be that person, that dude.
Yeah.
But
you are that.
But that's what I'm just.
You are that dude. You are that dude.
That's what
I'm saying you that dude.
Well, that's what I feel out, man. Yeah. The lady was out there early. They do the live thing, and so she thought that we was gonna not disrespect it, but upset it because I told her I knew. We was just gonna do something. We're just trying to feel it out there to see what we can do.
Yeah.
So yeah. But,
so Mr. Sonny, we gotta get out of here, and
I appreciate you.
I always give my guests the opportunity to say last words or give advice. What kind of advice would you leave for young people, older generation, just any advice?
Well, my thing of it is that I got a lot from my ancestors, man. They taught me a lot. They taught me how to be a man. I had uncles when my dad left. They taught me how to be spiritual. My mom taught me how to love.
Gotcha.
My dad told me, he said, man, if anything you want to do, you can do it. So he put that self-confidence in me. If I want to tell a young folks something, man, believe in yourself. Yeah. When you go and you graduated from college, don't come out looking for a job. Come out creating a job. So that's those are the only things that you can do. And that's what I say because what I did. I didn't know that I had that in me. You understand? You have to believe in yourself, man. Yeah. And that's most people. If it was two words, one word that means two things. I would say selfish. Okay. One of them is self first. Yeah. Believe in yourself. Yeah. The other one is selfish. That you know what I'm saying. Absolutely. But that's when people say, man, you so selfish. No, I'm not selfish. I'm self first. Before you can do anything for your family, you got to believe that you can do it for your family. Yeah. That's awesome. That man, and this one got you right. I said, you know what? I say I got a saying that I say. She said, what? One of them is listening ear is a running mouth.
That's when I called you and you said I told him everything.
And I said it's always a light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah. You just got to keep your eyes open to find it.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. So, Miss Sonny, what's the address here at Sonny's place? Oh,
you asking the wrong question.
What's the address here?
Yeah, it's 16 69.
1669 Alpine Road.
Yeah.
1669 Alpine Road in Rockford,
You
Illinois.
can't miss it.
Sunny place.
Look here, man. I used to ride up and down the street just to see Sonny's place in lights. It lights up at night.
Okay.
Because you find it hard to believe that somebody else believe in you that much to put your name out there.
Absolutely.
So I'm saying, okay, I'll ride by there. She asked me, she said, Dad, have you rode by and seen the sign? I said, what sign? She said, ride by there one night. It comes on automatically.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's great, man.
Well, I had me some salmon croquette the other day.
Yeah.
I had the shrimp and grits.
Grits, yeah.
My wife loves the pork chop. She call them poke chop.
Poke chop, that's what it is.
Yeah. The turkey burgers. So, Mr. Sonny, you are still doing what you do. Even when you ain't doing it.
I'm going to just say this, man. I don't want to get emotional. It's an honor and a privilege.
Thank you, sir.
For you to take time out.
Thank you.
To be thinking about somebody, because the older we get, sometimes we get lost, and I don't want to be like that.
Gotcha.
I want to still be out here with you guys, man. I love it. I mean, I've been doing it all my life. That's why I get up every morning and exercise.
Awesome.
I want to be right there with y'all, man. So yeah.
But
Kevin, man, I really appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Keep doing what you're doing, because you're doing a great job, man.
Man.
It speaks for itself how long we went talking.
I know,
man.
right? I love it. I love.
Somebody told me. I told him I was doing the pod. She said, "Well, don't tell him about Mississippi."
That's another day. We're gonna talk about Mississippi.
Yeah.
No,
but Kevin, I mean, man, I just enjoy myself.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
And you keep doing what you're doing, man.
I'm gonna try.
Earn it. You're
try.
earning it, man. What you don't realize right now, you're earning this, man.
Well,
and if what me and you sitting here talking is gonna take you up to that next level, man, come on, get me again, because I got some more stories.
Okay, I got you. I'm gonna hold you to that now.
All right,
I'm gonna hold
got
you
it,
to
man.
that. Well, thank y'all for joining another episode of Mentality Unchained. I'm Kevin Thomas. Again, like I always say, we all have the ability to change our circumstances only if we focus on what we can change. Thank you for joining me and Mr. Sonny. We're out.